Today we are going to learn the most enthusiastic feature of GW Basic, that is color and palette. The most fascinating thing in graphics is to draw all the drawings along with the colors. For that we have to use the color statement. The purpose of color statement is to select the display colors. The color statement in GW Basic may have the following syntaxes: color, foreground, background and border, color, background and palette, or color, foreground and background. It all depends upon the graphics mode you are using and the screen. Where the foreground color is the color of text and graphics, and the background color is the color at the back of text and graphics. For example, here you can see the background color is black and the foreground colors are red, pink and blue. Where the palette is the two sets of colors, which we are going to discuss in detail later in this video. We have total 16 colors in GW Basic to be used for graphics from 0 to 15, where 0 is black, 1 blue, 2 green, 3 cyan, 4 red, 5 magenta, 6 brown, 7 white, 8 grey, 9 light blue, 10 light green, 11 light cyan, 12 is light red, 13 is light magenta, 14 is yellow and 15 is intense white, means very sharp white. The palette statement is used to select from one of the two color sets, even and odd palette. The even palette is 0 and the odd palette is 1. The colors in the even palette are 0, 1, 2, 3, black, green, red and brown respectively, and in the odd palette we have 0, 1, 2, 3, black, cyan, magenta and white. The syntax of palette statement is palette, attribute and color, where attribute may have the values 0 or 1 representing even or odd palette, and the color can be any of the color from even or odd palettes. The palette color sets are used with color parameter of line, circle, preset, draw and other graphic statements. The palette statement works only for the systems that are equipped with EGA Enhanced Graphics Adapter. Let's apply the palette statement on PC Basic. I'm on screen number 0 right now and I'm going to apply the E1 palette 0 and its colored values over here. Let me try the first one, that is palette 0, 0. Even palette and with 0 color, no change. Again black and white, the black background. Alright, I'm going to try the next number, that is 0, even palette and number 1. You know number 1 is blue, so my background got blue. The next is palette 0, 2. 2 is green color, so we have the green background. And the next palette 0, 3. It's cyan. Okay, my background turns to cyan. You have seen on the text mode or 0 screen, we have the following impact of the palette statement, even palette with different 0, 1, 2, 3 colors. Now I'm going to apply the odd palette, palette number 1, but I'm going to screen number 2, which is a high resolution graphics mode. Now I'm on screen number 2. Let's apply the odd palette here. You know that the color statement is illegal on screen number 2, but we can apply the color using the palette statement. Okay, the first is palette 1, odd palette, and the color is 0, the black color. You can't see anything on my foreground because the color turns into black. Let's apply PALETTE palette E1, palette odd 1 and the color is 1, which is blue. So my foreground color turns to blue. Now I'm going to apply the next color, that is 2. From odd palette, the color 2 is green. So my foreground color, foreground means your text and drawing color, that turns to green. Now I'm going to apply the last color, that is cyan. Palette 1, 3. Look at my writing or the font color or the text color, it turns into cyan. Let's check out the color statement impact on different screen. On screen number 0, we have the following syntax: color, foreground, background and border. All the three colors are available. For the foreground, we can choose any of the 0 to 15 colors, and the color can blink too if you add 16 number to the actual color. But the integer ranges from 0 to 31. If you will exceed by adding plus 16, then it must be an error. For the background, you can again select from 0 to 15 colors, but no blinking is allowed in the background. And for the border too, you can choose the 16 colors and no blinking is allowed for the border color. When you open GW Basic or PC Basic, by default you are on screen number 0. Let's do CLS to clear the screen, and I'm going to apply the screen statement screen 0 so that you can see there is no change. You are on the same place. Now let's apply colors. The color statement would be COLOR. The first thing is the foreground color. I'm going to select 4 as my foreground color, the red color. Then for the background, I'm using green color, which is 2. And for the border line, I'm going to choose the blue color, which is 1. Let's check out how does it work. Oh my god, that's lovely. If I'm going to write something, for example, I'm going to write my name, you can see the background color of my writing is green and the foreground color is red and the border line is blue. Okay, it has given me the syntax error on my name. Let's blink the foreground. I want to blink my own name. So what should I do? Color. My foreground color is 4. Add 16 in it. It becomes 20. I'm going to write 20, comma, 2, comma, 1. The 2 and 1 are the same, green and blue, but I want to blink my own red color name. Oh my god, look at this. The OK is blinking. Let me write something. Zeest Tariq. And look at this. It works. It's blinking. Wow, lovely. The color statement on screen number 1 has the following syntax: color, background and palette. Means that there is no foreground color and we cannot choose any color for the borderline too. We just have the background colors, which are 4, can be chosen from the even palette 0 and odd palette 1. You have just seen the videos how do the palette statement works on screen number 0. Similarly, it works for the screen number 1. If you will use the color statement on screen number 2, it will give you an illegal function call error because we cannot select any color for the foreground, not any for the background and not any for the borderline too. If you want to use the colors on screen number 2, you can use the palette statement as I have shown you. On screen 7 to 10, the color statement has the following syntax: color, foreground and background. For the foreground, you can choose any of the 0 to 15 colors without blinking. For the background, again, you can choose any of the 0 to 15 colors. Blinking is not allowed. And there is no borderline color for 7 to 10 screens. When you open PC Basic, by default, you are on screen number 0. Let's move on to screen 2 to check out the color statement there. Okay, I'm going to apply color, any random colors here. Illegal function call because the color statement doesn't work on screen number 2. If you want to use colors, you have to use the palette statement. I'm going to move to screen number 7 to check out the syntax. Here the syntax of the color statement is color, foreground and background. For the foreground, I'm going to choose the color blue, and for the background, I'm going to choose the color cyan. Look at this, so lovely. When I write something, typing something, this is blue and the background is cyan. Alright, let's move on to screen number 8, which has the same syntax. For the color statement, I'm going to write color and the color 6, which is brown, and the color 7, which is white. Let's check. Okay, this is not a very clear white color, but the colors are very nice. Let's move on to the next screen, that is screen number 9. Okay, Here I'm going to check the color statement with the same syntax, foreground and background. For the foreground, I'm going to use the 4 red color and 7 background color. Okay, again white, and the red is my foreground color. Check out this. So lovely colors. Let's move on to screen number 10. I think my notebook doesn't support screen number 10. That's why I got an illegal function call.